Let us start the class. Okay, first of all, we go for to create a new project. Here, you go for show and run commands. There, create Java project. No build tools. This is Visual Studio Code. So then you come for where your project to be stored in your PC. This is Visual Studio Code. In any one, that is what, one folder. Within that folder, okay, you need to select the location. After that, you need to give a name of the file. Okay, file name. Suppose today's class name is class. No any class. You will give that word, that was practice demo. That is today's class is what, thread cycle. Okay, T cycle. That is the file name. T cycle, thread cycle. Today we are going to understand thread cycle.java. Okay. So now the file will be open. Click on source. Here you will get the file. So first of all, let me open the file and then we will try to understand the topics. Okay. This is your, okay, open. Now you change this as whatever the name you want to change the file name in Visual Studio Code. This is our file name today, T cycle, thread cycle. We are going to understand thread cycle dots. This is our file name. Okay. Now come to the point. This is the two main class. Okay, and this is the main thread. As per this is your file name tcycle.java. So you change this, otherwise you will get the error. T cycle. T cycle means time cycle of threads. Today we are going to understand time cycle of threads. Okay, comment multiple single line comments. Time cycle of threads. This is the topic today. How to understand time cycle of threads. So what is time cycle of threads? Whenever a thread is created, so it will be in different states. That is what thread creation. First state, thread creation. So that state is called in bracket new state. Okay. Whenever thread is created, that state is called, it will be new state. After that, once thread is created, next state is called active state. Means whenever we call the method, so that is whenever we use start method, so active state. When active state happens, you use the start method. Whenever you use the start method, okay, that moment thread will be, that is when whatever the thread is in new state, so that will be put in active state. So it has two, active state has two conditions. One is that runnable condition, and then after running. Okay, running. Okay, next come down, next comment. So once thread is created, it will be in new state. That state is called a new state. Okay, after that, thread created, whenever we use start method of thread class. So I told you that start method implicitly immediately call the run method. So that thread will be in active state. So after that, active state has two conditions. That is, thread will be either in runnable condition, otherwise it will be in running condition. Okay, that is the, okay, we will discuss all the things. What is runnable? So next what? next condition is what? Running. So next is blocked or waiting condition. Blocked or waiting condition. Okay, waiting condition. Okay. So next is what? Next timed waiting. Timed waiting condition. Timed waiting condition. Condition. Come down. Okay. Next, last is terminated condition. Last is a terminated state. Terminated state. Okay. So thread will be anytime all of them from these all of the states, it would be in any one state. Either it would be at the starting new state, otherwise whenever we call the start method, it would be in active state. Active state, it has two states. Either it would be in runnable condition. Runnable is what you know. Runnable means what happened under runnable. Under runnable condition, runnable state, what happened? It is waiting for CPU. Means waiting for CPU. Waiting for CPU. CPU means central processing unit, simply called as microprocessor. Okay. Runnable means waiting for CPU. Otherwise, or we can say that ready to run. It is ready to run. Okay. Ready to run. Ready to run. Okay. So next is what? Running condition. Running condition means execution condition. Running means thread is being executed. Thread is being executed. Thread is in execution condition. Thread is being executed. Thread running means thread is being executed. This is the okay. So then after how many states? I told you that that's the under the time cycle of threads. Under the time cycle of threads, whenever the thread is created, so when his thread is created, so either it would be in first condition, new condition. Okay. After that, once we have started the start method, so whenever we started the start method, that moment it will be kept in active condition, active state. Okay. So then next what happened? 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. I need to take a. That is, where is my Zoom class? I need to take some notes. This is what. Okay. So now come. As I told you that. Okay. So come, come down. Just one little bit of fraction of second. I want to change my position. That's why. Okay. Within this position, I'm getting somewhat discomfort. Okay. Now, so as I told you that within the class, I was discussing about the time cycle of threads today. So first state of the thread is that new state. That is what new state. When a thread is created, so it will be in new state. So once we have started the thread with the start method of the thread class, that moment I have written in bracket here start method. So that moment it would be kept in active state. So active state has two conditions. One is that runnable condition, runnable state, otherwise running. So whenever active, it is active state. Under runnable means it is waiting for CPU. Okay, under runnable state it is waiting for CPU. Otherwise we can say that ready to run. Okay, under runnable state. So once it is sent, whenever CPU gets, running means CPU means microprocessor. Okay, whenever CPU gets, okay, running means whenever it is actually in runnable condition waiting for CPU. Whenever CPU gets means the thread is being executed. Running means whenever CPU gets, thread is being executed. Okay, next state is what? Terminated state. Now before that, one more state we need to study, that time waiting. Timed waiting. Okay, that is very important. Timed waiting, this state, timed waiting state, what happens here? Timed waiting state. So for a thread, suppose thread is looking for CPU. That moment, time was not allotted, means time was not allotted to that thread by the thread scheduler. Okay, so thread needs to be wait for some time. That moment, not forever, one time slot will be given, waiting time slot will be given for that thread. Actually what happens, somewhat time, suppose one thread, it wants to take a printout. That moment another thread is executing the printout, so this thread needs to be wait. So for that thread, somewhat time will be given, waiting time. Okay, after that, that time will be, CPU will allot the time for that thread. Okay, so one easy example is that in sleep method is a method of thread class. So whenever we use sleep method, for some time that thread will be put in the sleep condition for some time, 1000 millisecond, like what you know. So then after it come back again from the sleeping condition and wakes up the thread and executes that. So very easy example, normally we are doing that sleep method of thread class. Okay, that somewhat time. Okay, we will do all these states. Okay, in today's class we will do all the states, how thread is in new state, we will execute all the things. Next is last is what, a best example is here. Next example is your sleep method. Sleep method. Method means parenthesis brackets. I told you that. Sleep method of thread class. Thread class. Okay. Okay. Next, come down. Terminated state. Terminated means execution finishes. So thread is stopped its execution. Now thread is dead. Okay, that is the terminated state. So to understand all these, to understand whatever I have briefed here, that is called under, which will under time cycle of a threads. Okay, so for this we need to create the thread. Okay, so now I am going to create the thread. Okay, I told you that there are two ways to create the thread. One is the by extending of a class, another one is that by implementing of an interface, runnable interface. Okay, so I'm going to take this class by runnable interface. Otherwise, whatever, you can create the thread by extend a class. Okay, as per your wish. Okay, today we will take, suppose take, okay, class. First of all, you need to create a class name. Take any class name. Class name, you would take any class name. Suppose demo class. Suppose this demo class, it implements. Okay, why implements? Why implements? Because I told you that runnable interface. Okay, accept. Now close brace, otherwise you will do the mistakes. This is very important. Close braces. Okay, now here this demo class implements runnable interface. Now come down, keep a method. Method is what? Public void, okay, run method. Okay. Now, under this, you keep a statement system dot out println, system dot println. Here, put some word statement, whatever, welcome. Okay. Otherwise, whatever, simply you keep. Okay. We will do a lot of miracles today. Okay. Next, come down. So, as I told you that once under the implements, okay, one class implements an interface, runnable interface, we need to follow the try and catch blocks. Always the try and catch blocks will be, must be in, okay, parenthesis. That is very important. Huh? Now within this, we need to put somewhat code. I told you that that is sleep method. Sleep thread, just I told thread sleep. Huh? Thread sleep for what? Somewhat time, 1000 milliseconds. Okay. Now termination. Termination with what? Okay. So now, as I told you that this sleep method, just I have the example sleep method of thread class. So this sleep method I am accessing by the name of the thread class, by the name of the thread class. So now it is what? Static method. So if any method that is being accessed by class name, okay, thread class name, so it becomes what? Static method. So after try block, I told you that catch block, that is very important. Catch block here. So by catch keyword, catch, okay. In brackets, I told you that exception, we need to write the exception code, that is very important. And e, exception e, okay. I told you that exception e means, exception means error. So this is a exception variable. If any exception occurs, that exception will be stored in this variable as an object. Okay. You can keep that exception as a printout by system dot out println, okay, bracket e, because e is a variable which holds the, which holds what? Which holds the exception type. Which type of exception it is? Whether it is arithmetic exception, whether it is index out of bound exception. So many exceptions are there. Okay. Now your code is over. Thread created. Huh? So first of all, let me check that this brace is for okay, this brace is okay, try black is okay, it is okay. Here one more brace we have left here, that is very important, otherwise you will get there. This brace for your class, that is interface, runnable interface class, okay. This brace for your run method. Now try block closed, catch block closed, okay. Now your, that is code is over. Now as I told you that we need to create the object for this. This class is what your, now here your class, this class is what? This class becomes child class, okay, because that never the interface can't be used for, interface cannot be used for the object. So object will be created for whom? Our class, child class, okay, implemented class. Huh? So here I'm going to, under this is the main class of yourself, you write here, because I have changed the main class name. So that's why don't confuse here, it is the main class. Normally you can simply identify the main class by wherever the main thread, main method is there, just above that, this is the main class, okay. You spelling mistakes, main class. I have changed this main class at T cycle, okay. So whenever my main class name is T cycle, surely ensure that my file name must be equal to tcycle.java file. Okay, .java. Otherwise, na, you will get the errors and you will not be able to find out the errors. Where is my error? You will be in somewhat ambiguous condition here. And okay, now here you need to create the implemented class, your demo as the object here. You create the object for this. Now create the object demo, as I told you that object for demo. Next, this is the, but demo and demo you will get somewhat confusion because this is the class and this is the object. So you change, this is for obj, simply normal, you can keep anything, it doesn't matter. Okay, now what a obj. Now try to understand here, this is obj means object for object. Okay, object. Okay. Now come down. Now once this object is created, once this object is created, we need to in interface, like suppose here extend keyword is there. By I told you that there are two ways to create the threads. So that moment if extends keyword is there, only this object is enough. Suppose interface, runnable interface we are using, that moment we need to create the object for the thread class also. Thread class, that is very, don't forget that, na? Thread class, thread t new thread. Okay, this is the syntax. You here I told you that these are what your constructors. Here we need to write the default constructor, default constructor, default constructor. Okay, this is the default constructor here. Where is that? Okay, okay. So now, now you need to do what? This object name, you need to pass as an argument in this constructor, default constructor of thread class. Okay, this is the default constructor, default constructor, default constructor. Within this default constructor of thread class, you need to pass this object obj object name as a argument. I told you that when we can say that argument, what is the difference between argument and parameter? I told you that once this is your run method, suppose if you pass anything, suppose if you pass here in text, now this is called a parameter. Okay, after that for this x, whatever the value you pass in your method, that is called argument. Okay, understand that? So parameter will be passed in method, argument whenever you are calling that method, that is called argument. Okay, now simply you need to do that, you need to do what, you need to run this thread, start by the start method. Okay, t dot start, t dot start. Okay, okay, now IDE gives lot of, this is I am using Visual Studio Code IDE. Okay, Visual Studio Code IDE, because no, Visual Studio Code we can do lot of code for all of that, either for C, C++, Java, for all of them, even the Python we can write the code. Okay, so now what happened? Your thread is thread enough code we have written here in this. Now thread is created for the thread. Okay, now you do one thing, you call the thread. Okay, now execute, try to execute that, whether what is happening here. Let us try to understand what is happening here. Check back that. Open launch icon. Welcome. Okay. Cancel. Okay, this is okay. Now it is okay. Now see, hello world printed. This is run by your main thread. Okay, which is declared in main method. Always the main method will be executed by the main thread. So welcome. That is part of your what? This method. Okay, means thread. Okay, so now I want to check back that what is the state of my I told you that now what is first whenever thread is created. So first state is what? This is your new state na? So let us check that once object is created, where is object is created for interface na, runnable interface. This is not called, it is also object, but this is actually thread object. This is t for the thread class. This t is called what? Your object for thread class. So you need to put some statement here, that is called, you copy this statement, print statement here. Okay, you copy this one, you copy this, you come down here, you paste here. Okay, paste. So now you pass here. Here we need to call what? T dot get state. T dot get state. Okay, this is a method for the this is a method for this is a method for thread class. Okay, so now it will give the status of what this. Because now once thread is created, initially I told you that whenever thread is created, that moment it would be in new state. So thread is created when thread object is created na? So we will get the output as new. Okay, so this is the new keyword. This is called actually enum fixed constant values. So here you put some word value text string type of data to get this was okay, the state of uh, thread state of thread after object creation, after after object creation. This is the string type of data I have kept just before that. Then you put plus here. Okay, so now you will get what? See, the state of thread after object creation is new state. Okay, now thread is in which state now? It is in new state. Okay, so once one thread is created na, once one thread is created, you can get the name of that thread. Okay, the name of the thread, you can simply keep here some statement like what that is thread name na. You get g dot string type of data. One is that name of thread. Okay, name of thread. Okay, name of thread. Here you put what? Some separators plus plus here y plus concatenation name of thread. Here we need to pass what? Get name. Thread is dot get name method. Okay, we need to pass get name method, then after plus, okay, some space we need to give. Okay, then here again plus. Okay, this is the somewhat story. Okay, let us check that what is happening here. Why I want to get the name of the thread. Okay, plus t dot get name. Some place I have the state of the, okay, this is executed. What is executed here? Let us see that it is giving what? It is giving somewhat error, syntax error and token statement. Where is that? State of the thread object created plus Okay, this is okay. Get name, t dot get name. Okay. So, creation plus t dot get store. So lengthy we have written. So leave it that, no issue. Don't worry because it is giving t plus get state. T plus get state. This is okay. Here I have not used any quotation. That is very important. Okay. Okay, next word. It is giving word the state of thread after object creation new. Okay, leave it that. Next, here I told you that once thread is started, you copy this whole line of print statement. Copy this one, you pass here. Okay, you paste here. So now you the state of thread after started, like start method after started by start method. Okay, so then what happened? So now get dot state. So now you try to understand what is the state of that. Now it is what wherever now your that thread is in runnable condition state. So means what? Initially whenever object is created, this is the object for thread class. This will not be counted. Okay, this object will not be counted. Okay, because we are using what runnable interface. That is very important. If I use extends keyword, that moment only for this class means that is what extended class, that object one line of code is enough. Okay, but whenever we are implementing that runnable interface, that moment we need to create the object for the your implemented class and your thread class. So object of that implemented class must be passed as a argument in thread constructor. Okay, so now thread is in what, in which condition? It is runnable state. So then next is what? Running. Okay, running is whenever thread is being executed, means thread gets the cpu micro, it gets the cpu. Okay. Okay, next some I want to do somewhat thing today. I want to do that is what, you come down here. So only one thread is created. Now I want to do multiple threads. Only one thread I have created. So I want to create multiple threads. So for multiple threads, you need to do what? You need to copy this. Okay. Copy, you need to pass here, paste. Okay. This is what you come down here, you pass, you paste here. Okay. Now three threads here created. For that, we need to create the three threads. Okay. You need to copy this total. You copy, you put down here, you paste here, one line of code you paste here. Okay, now you need to change somewhat little bit changes to this code as per three threads I have created. Let me check that actually what is happening, whether I need to do what, because object created na. So obj you need to change the object names. Object one, this is object two. Okay, now these objects you need to pass here as an argument. This is obj1, this is obj2. This is, you need to say that this t1 thread, t2 thread. Okay, what is doing here? Okay, now come down. Where it is? Okay. Now here you need to say this one as t2 thread. This is what you need to say, t3 thread. So now let us see. So after that, you need to start all the threads one by one. T dot start. Okay, you copy this one, copy this. You start all the three threads. Okay, paste here. Then what again? Paste here. Okay, now